All right, this project is on deforestation and air pollution and is done by Jack Robinson and Dave Martin. Deforestation is the act of cutting down trees to clear land for houses and agricultural purposes. This is harming for many different species of animals because we are wiping out their natural habitats. This doesn't only affect animals, as it also affects humans because we need forests for oxygen and allows for greenhouse gases to be emitted into the air, which is a main contributor towards global warming.
Air pollution. Air pollution is caused mainly by industrial factories releasing chemicals like sulfur dioxide, nitrogen oxides, and particulate matter. This affects all life on this planet, especially young children between the ages of 1 and 2. We are all fueling this problem because every family in the United States causes air pollution through electricity, transportation, and other fuel and home uses.
Correlation between deforestation and air pollution is as deforestation continues, air pollution will keep getting worse because there will be less trees to capture carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. This will also increase the rate of climate change and will increase global warming. After seeing this, we can infer that deforestation is a direct contributor to the rising air pollution threat. As these problems keep growing, many human and animal species are at stake, as air pollution accounts for one-third of all deaths from stroke, chronic respiratory disease, and lung cancer, and through deforestation, up to 28,000 species are expected to become extinct by the next quarter of the century.
Facts about deforestation. The Earth loses 18.7 million acres of forest per year, which is equal to 27 soccer fields every minute, according to the Wildlife Fund. It is estimated that within 100 years there will be no rainforests. Up to 28,000 species are expected to become extinct by the next quarter of the century due to deforestation. Tropical deforestation accounts for about 10% of the world's heat trapping, equivalent to the annual tailpipe emissions of 600 million average U.S. cars. The statistical data on deforestation reveals that 7 countries of the world account for 60% of the total deforestation on the planet. These include Brazil and Latin America, Canada and the United States in North America, Indonesia and China in Asia, Russia in Europe, and the Democratic Republic of Congo in Africa.
More facts about deforestation. Additionally, deforestation statistics reveal that the United States lost about 831 square miles of the forest cover between 2001 and 2005. 20% of the world's oxygen is produced in the Amazon. 1.5 acres of forest is cut down every second. 90% of continental United States indigenous forests have been removed since 1600, according to the University of Michigan. About half of the world's tropical rainforests have been cleared, according to FAO.
Facts about air pollution. Inhaling air pollution takes away at least 1 to 2 years of the typical human life. Toxic air pollution poses a greater threat to children due to their smaller physical size and lung capacity. 4.3 million people die every year from indoor air pollutants. More than 40% of the world's population rely on open fires or traditional stoves to cook and heat their homes. The smoke that those fires produce includes heavy concentrations of carbon monoxide, particulate matter, and other toxic air pollutants. 92% of the world's population is living in contaminated air places. Air pollution comes from many sources: inefficient transport, coal-fired power plants, industrial activity, waste burning, and other human activities are major sources. But natural events such as dust storms can also play a role.
More facts about air pollution. 65% of the deaths in Asia and 25% of the deaths in India are due to air pollution. The number of people who die in America every year due to air pollution is above 50,000. Air pollution in just California alone kills 25,000 people per year and costs about $200 million worth of medical expenses. Air pollution indoors is 2 to 5 times more harmful than air outdoors. In the United States, nearly 134 million people, or over 40%, are at a risk of disease and premature death because of air pollution.
Catholic social teaching principles, rights and responsibilities. God graciously granted us dominion over the earth and all other creatures, and it is our responsibility to care for the earth and ensure that all creatures have the best opportunities to thrive. Solidarity. We must always remember that we are all just a piece of God's big community on earth, and strive to bring up our brothers and sisters to ensure that all aspects of the world can be a positive representation of God's work. Care for God's creation. As deforestation continues to exponentially rise, air pollution will follow suit as a direct result. As a result of high air pollution, millions of people will continue to prematurely die every year, as well as animals being severely affected. And through deforestation itself, thousands of animals will be without their natural habitat and be forced into adaptation, while other species will eventually cease to exist.
Here's some more Catholic social teaching principles. Human dignity. Due to governments and businesses' constant pursuit to make more money and outdo each other, they continue to deface our beautiful world, and as a result, the entire human species is paying for the results, as it puts everyone at a threat of unsafe air pollution levels that is responsible for millions of premature deaths every year. Preferential option for the poor and vulnerable. Many people in the area of the Amazon depend on it for their daily necessities of life, and many medicines are the results of the studies from the Amazon. Also, many people nowadays live in major cities of the world, which happens to be a major area of highly polluted air as a result of the industries and surplus of people. This is very damaging to the residents, especially for the homeless, as they constantly live in these conditions. Family and community participation. While it may seem unlikely for any of us to have a serious impact on deforestation, we must always try to conserve our resources, as well as fight for the stand against global deforestation. As for air pollution, we all can easily positively impact this issue, as communities should unite and ensure that all residents are being conscientious of how their actions impact their local air systems.
Bible teaching. Land must not be sold permanently, because the land is mine and you are but aliens and my tenants. Throughout the country that you hold as possession, you must provide for the redemption of the land. This quote works well with our topics because it shows that the earth and all of creation is made under the work of God, and it is our fundamental duty to preserve all that He has made for us. Through the increasing air pollution and deforestation efforts, we are putting nature and society in danger and destroying ourselves and all that God has created as good and to be used for our benefit.
Here's a teaching from Pope Benedict, his World Day message in 2010. Respect for creation is of immense consequence, not least because creation is the beginning and the foundation of all God's work, and its preservation has now become essential for the pacific coexistence of mankind. Can we remain indifferent before the problems associated with such realities as climate change, desertification, the deterioration and loss of productivity in vast agricultural areas, the pollution of rivers and aquifers, the loss of biodiversity, the increase of natural catastrophes, and the deforestation of equatorial and tropical regions? Can we disregard the growing phenomenon of environmental refugees, people who are forced by the degradation of their natural habitat to forsake it, and often their possessions as well, in order to face the dangers and uncertainties of forced displacement? A greater sense of solidarity is urgently needed. Future generations cannot be saddled with the cost of our use of common environmental resources. The Church has a responsibility towards creation, and she considers it her duty to exercise that responsibility in public life, in order to protect the earth, water, and air as gifts from God the Creator, meant for everyone, and above all, to save mankind from the danger of self-destruction.
Coalition for Clean Air. The Coalition for Clean Air is a short organization based in California that is dedicated to reduce air pollution and increase air quality across the state. Their goal is to incorporate many more electric cars onto the roads, and hope to see 1 million in California alone in the next 10 years. They are also working to see into that freight emissions are completely eliminated. A major part of their organization is increasing the awareness of the dangers of the increasing air pollution in their state, and they are currently offering educational services to school children in which they bring programs that allow kids to build their own air quality monitoring devices at their school. This helps bring the concept of air quality monitoring to the forefront and help educate the next generation.
Finally, how can we actively help these ongoing world problems? Well, first, we should recycle as much as possible, and we should always try to conserve our resources. We should minimize the air pollution from our car and try not to idle our vehicles. Going along with that, we should try to avoid driving during rush hour. We should try to walk to places that we need to go if we can. Another option is to open some windows in our house and try to limit air conditioning use. Another option is to try a dehumidifier and keep the indoor humidity low. We should try to keep our home as dust-free as much as possible. We should try to eat natural and organic products, and we should also encourage others to do the same.